Hi, and welcome to your reading. This is a timeless reading for anyone interested in having this type of tarot service. This is a pros and cons tarot reading. For price, inquiry, and or appointment, please contact me only via my email address, which can be found in the description box below, and payments must be made prior to execution of any healing services for an individual. Please bear in mind that masculine and feminine energy are non-gender specific, so you can be female and or male-bodied and still resonate with feminine and masculine energies that come up throughout a reading. This is a timeless reading, and that whenever you happen to be here is when you will use your intuition and discernment and to see whether or not any of the messages within this reading or this type of service is something that you may benefit from. So on one side of the screen here, we're going to do a pros, and the other side we're going to do a cons. And this is a very general, public, timeless reading, so I'm going to trigger, say, maybe a lot of things that may or may not make sense, but it is a message for someone out there. Again, so this side of the screen will be pros, which just happens to be my left side, and on the right side, on this side of the screen, will be cons. I can feel that overall this energy is making you, the individual, or someone you know, worse than nervous. It's more of like this person can't catch a breath anymore. So I really don't like this energy. But whatever brings you here is when you again, you may find that these messages may resonate for you. Just a siren would be the confirmation that we need to take a moment to relax. The irony of so much chaos, right? To find a zenful moment, to be in zen. Someone's dealing with menopause and just hormonal exchanges. Maybe even like side effects from birth control take an effect here for someone. I'm feeling a lot of crying, a lot of suffering here. Someone crying themselves to sleep at night. Very depressive energy here, but one that's hidden. You haven't been diagnosed with depression. Not that I believe in diagnosing depression, but you're hiding it well. Whatever energy you're hiding, you're letting other people know that you're not in this negative state of mind. But as the energy reader that I am, to tapping into those who are clicking on this video, we are not doing so good. So let's see. I really do hope that these messages resonate for someone, and that if you were to tap into this healing journey with me, I'm a self-proclaimed master healer as well as a master Reiki healer, so feel free to reach out. All right. Again, this side of the screen, wherever that lands on your screen, is going to be the pros. On this side is going to be the cons. Left side pros, right side cons. We're going to take any messages that show up for either section and explore. We're pulling for pros. We're pulling for cons. All right. So for pros, we have the King of Discs, as well as King of Pentacles energy, and the Emperor. Wow. So the pro of the situation is that whatever situation you're in, you're being forced to take things slow and to feel everything and to reap the benefits. You're supposed to feel the consequences of your action more so than ever before. There's a maturity you bring to the perspective of life, and that makes you very profitable. That makes also the things that you manifest very profitable for yourself. Maybe also perhaps an easy manifester, because you see things from different angles and you execute upon the initiation of the feeling. We're going to look over the cons. We have the Three of Pentacles. This energy says that it's difficult to work with people. It's difficult to trust those that you're currently working with, or that you even foresee maybe needing to work with. There's a teamwork mentality that you're forced to take upon that is not working in your favor, whether it's your ego, pride, or just maybe even a step further, your spirit guides telling you that this is just not a good idea. Together, these energies work well off of each other, ironically, because the Three of Pentacles allows the pace of the Emperor to really feel the consequences of the Emperor's action here, even the inaction, because the King of Pentacles says, I'm a really slow energy, and the Emperor energy is much faster of an energy. The Emperor is not exclusive to just being masculine energy here. It's just saying that the working of the feminine and masculine within you and the connections of others are needing to humble you. And in that inquisition, you'll get to learn, based on all the facets of how you feel secure or not, whether you can move forward with an idea of collaboration, or if you need to put a stop to it. We're going to pull some more for the pros. Yep, you have the Eight of Swords energy. Highlights the energy that I picked up before, that there is an overwhelming aspect to being high vibrational. There are consequences that come with everyday waking up and knowing that you can be grateful. There are consequences despite your well-off attitude and well demeanor. Connections with individuals are difficult on an understanding basis, whether or not you even like each other. We're going to pull more for the pros. We have the Three of Wands, needing to learn the lessons that this polarizing energy of being profound is doing by using your intuition and training your intuition. Some of you may not know what intuition is, but just trust that you do have feelings attached to the sensations you either produce or you are receiving. And those sensations offer you knowledge to turn the dial of how things can either be controlled by you or not in a certain way. And by doing so, some things either turn in your favor or some things do not turn in your favor. That's the philosophy behind the Three of Wands, and needing to use your intuition more and establishing trust. Figuring out what the positives are in a situation so that way you don't give yourself negative talk, but that the pros are really profound in you being vulnerable for what it is that you need to be vulnerable for, but also standing your ground when needing to. Let's look at the Kana energy here. Seven of Pentacles here, saying the struggle of being able to plan and really know what is best for you. Sometimes you feel like you're perhaps an individual that does things whatever it means to be the right way, and things just always restart. I see here 3 and a 7 here is a 10, so 10 saying that it's a fast cycle here. It's a complete cycle. It's a cycle that doesn't need more to be something else, but maybe what's within this cycle needs to change so that way the ripple effects that come from this circle feel better. So I think some of you need to go back into the root of situation to see if there are struggles in the past, if it's not as past as yesterday, or further in your current life, or even further in your past life, to be able to understand why certain things feel so off as they do. Even if things around you may feel abundant or look abundant or are perceived as abundant according to everyone else. Alright, we have the Knight of Pentacles for the context here for the con side. So the Knight of Pentacles is saying that you're learning about your little pattern that doesn't make sense and you want to come out of this pattern. Perhaps you're looking at things through a narrower lens, so that way you have a better control of identifying what it is that you're looking at and why it's so important to perhaps look at it. The Two of Wands here for the con side. So yeah, you're being tested on many ways on external factors, how you can utilize the external factors of that which it is that you're around to kind of strengthen your own intuition here. Knowing your circle of trust within yourself allows you to establish trust with others and to show up for others when it comes time to, even if you desire it or not, because there are situations that you can learn from it. If not perspectives, if you can't gain materialism or monetary means, you're going to gain insight to how to fortify your intuition and base that into establishing much more profound relationships with yourself and others. Here, the inability to focus, inability to learn, and inability to kind of put the temperamental side about yourself to the side is the challenging energy I'm seeing here. We're going to move on to a couple of decks that I created. This deck is called Courage. I'm going to pull some cards for the pros. Pros, I'll admit. I'll admit. Is that even a word? Yeah, no, it is. To be able to, I mean, you're doing it regardless. You're glowing in so many ways that you just don't understand how you're possibly glowing. Things do feel good in the ways that you allow them to feel good because, like I said, you are hiding something. I got, I'll make way for the pro side. So you're confessing that you are in need to take alone time to yourself, and no matter how many moments that requires, you know, if it's 5 seconds or 10 minutes, yep, I'll do. And I can't play. Interesting. I can't play and I'll do. So you're not very convinced with yourself. I feel like the majority of you, again, are blending into a sort of lifestyle like a chameleon, but you're not really, really satiated with what's going on here. And it's a little sad because you're not being true to yourself. You are bypassing, and I'm not saying you're spiritually bypassing necessarily, but you are bypassing an issue that I would be even very intrigued to know whether or not you would be a much better person if you looked at that issue and brought it to a different perspective. So that way, I don't want to force anyone to say and to feel that you have to move on from the situation. But if moving on gives you more maturity about a situation because you looked at it, then that's the whole point of being able to grow with something that you had to have a tiff with, you know? We're moving on for another deck for the cons. This one's called Expression for the con sign. Please know that if you are interested in this type of service, you're not limited to this type of cards that come out here or how many in the purchase of your reading, okay? I'm extending to the cons side. I'm extending. So yeah, like the Three of Pentacles is saying you are extending, right? You want to collaborate, you want to show up, you understand humanity and what it means to be human, what it means to be a person. It means that some of you are extending your hand in being gracious and being flexible and being available for a type of service, or even the teamwork, or showing up for work and collaboration, right? And so you feel that you are extending. The universe obviously sees it. The con aspect of it is that you are extending. Convoluted mess, but I feel that it may hit home to what it could mean. You know, you're overextending with something and feeling it out that you are not really feeling it. Another card here. Yeah. We have I'm exemplary. I'm navigating. Okay, so you know, you're, like I said, some of you are chameleons, and like, you know exactly what it is that you're doing, why you're doing it, whether you're assigned to the job, or allowing yourself to become acquainted with strangers, more or less, so that way you can learn about what it is that you want, whether you're a freelancer, an entrepreneur, and doing some meetups, and overall you're extending yourself. And that attitude is good, but just be mindful of where you're overextending and not navigating correctly for it to be a con energy, right? Remember, it's a con, something that's not necessarily working in your favor. All right, we're going to move on to another deck of mine for the con side. This I'm sensitive is what this deck is saying. I'm sensitive. It makes sense to this chameleon energy, right? The sensitivity is a power because you're able to blend into the situation. And the downfall of blending in is that you may feel you're losing out on who you are because you have to blend in that moment, right? So I'm sensitive is a very interesting energy here to build on top of this con side. We have I'm in pain, I'm mute. Yeah, like I said, some of you are just not talking about it, all right? In not really getting down to the real root of things, or not talking about the thing that needs to be talked about, is giving you this pain if you're feeling you're in pain, right? Whether it's chronic pain. Chronic pain has something to do, most often in the time, with very deep karma that needs to be looked at and overlooked at and assessed. And you can achieve that with past life regression if you're interested in something like that. It's a partial hypnosis where you're completely awake, mind you, and you're the one journeying. No one's really taking you on this journey, or no one is taking you on this journey, okay? So being in pain has a lot to do with being a chameleon and being able to blend in with everything, and not talking about it is keeping you in this pain, all right? So let's see, hopefully you can navigate your way around this energy so you don't feel so stuck. We're going to move over to the pro side with this deck. Oh. I'll bring. See, look at that. You're bringing yourself to this situation. You're bringing yourself to either me. Sorry. I had to put myself there for a second. I'm learning and I'll wait. I'll bring, I'll wait, I'm learning. Some of you are waiting for the right time, whatever the right time is. The right time is now, because you don't know until the right time has taken place. But there are certain ways that having a relationship with light, for example, or energy, they will allow you to have a conversation back with it and kind of sway with you in how to navigate and when the right timing is. So some of you are learning and waiting in regards to that. And while you're waiting, that's why you're also bringing yourself to the situation, because you're very sensitive, although it may not always work in your favor. We're going to start closing out this reading by pulling some more cards from tarot. For the pro side. We have the Knight of Wands. So again, you're still keeping your power alive by being very adamant to change, adamant to your own appeal of fire, your own inertia, your own anxiety, your own pain. doing the deed here, right? You're the one taking that breath, needing to ask questions, needing to find sources that you can trust to answer those questions. Knowing that those sources who answer those questions don't know it all, but we all know it simultaneously, but nothing at the same time here, right? We have the universe energy here with the Four of Cups. So the universe is pushing the limits to where you need to show up for yourself and find the areas of where you feel very comfortable, and then really deal with the areas that make you uncomfortable, because the Four Cups energy is saying you need to heal. And fire and water don't mix necessarily in a way that you can be very motivated at one point and then all of a sudden very depressed in another, right? It doesn't mix very well. So the universe is asking for your patience. Look at that, as the King of Cups comes out here, is looking for your patience, so that way you show up with the same amount of passion as the Emperor that came out earlier, as a compassionate person with the King of Cups, someone who becomes more emotionally intelligent about yourself and that of which and how the universe works. And in it, you become more fluid, okay? With that energy, the King of Cups understands that the Emperor is overwhelming energy to be in, someone who's overly doing things all the time, having to always show up for the responsibilities, and no one's ever emotionally available for the Emperor, is what the Emperor feels like, right? But that has a lot to do with that. Maybe you're not emotionally available with yourself here for you to even see what it's like for the universe to actually have given you and granted you many individuals, if not experiences, for you to be more emotionally satisfied with the connections that you've created thus far or want to create. For the con side, we have the Moon energy. Yeah, so some of you are really struggling to really express yourself emotionally, which is really sad, because I don't even want to say, it's almost like you won't touch it, you won't go there. Some of you, it's exactly why the Emperor is never satisfied, because you just won't touch the subject again. You have the High Priestess, yeah, you won't touch the subject. You have the King of Wands energy, very dismissive. Not necessarily that means that your energy is saying, I don't want to heal, because you are, again, listening to this reading, right? In one fashion, way or another. But are you going to show up to healing as you know you should? I mean, the ego is yours. That's for you to play with. The soul belongs to collective consciousness. Even if you feel like you don't have a soul, or know people who don't believe in a soul, and light, dark, demon, whatever. It's all just fucking labels to different ways in how to express yourself as the galactic family that we are, if we're going to consider ourselves to be of earth vibration and amongst many. The High Priestess knows too much. Again, there's secrets that you just don't want to talk about. Maybe you can't because the situation doesn't allow itself to, right? So you just won't. And in that situation, if you're not allowing yourself to, it's sad, yes. But understand that the Moon card and the High Priestess card is universal major arcana card here, where the pro side came up here as universe already showing up as universe itself, and then the major arcana showing up here on this con side saying the Moon and the High Priestess. If you know anything about tarot, very powerful energy of saying you know way more than you will actually confess. And that has a lot to do with the situation you're in right now. Not so much the connection of relation or of a romantic relationship. It's not to be looked at it that way. It's strictly here on how you bring yourself to collaboration of a relation of any kind. Very interesting energy, I must say. The moon is overpowering the high priestess at this time here with this energy. Not only because it came out first before the high priestess, but also because being sensitive and maybe being in pain and being mute makes this side to be the side not working for you, is a reason why you're learning that sensitivity is actually what makes you as powerful as you are on the other side of this pro side here. Remember, these energies work off of each other. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond, I'm wishing you a wonderful one. I hope that these messages were insightful. Please reach out to me if you desire. And yeah, I look forward to connecting some more with you. And may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. Take care.